Ladies and gentlemen, if you'd like to turn your attention to the stage-ish area, the area with props and whatnot, we have a brief presentation, and I think, yes, all of it by the Rise Leadership Team. So, happy Easter to everyone, and I hope this brings you a little bit of joy and a little bit of thoughtfulness about the death and resurrection of Jesus Christ. Ladies and gentlemen, you are also in this play. We are the crowd. So try not to be too mean to the players. Anyway, we are the crowd. So keep that in mind as this goes along.
You said we were involved.
Yes. All right. There he stood, the man that claimed to be king. The chief priest cared more about his other claim that he was the Son of God, the Messiah. The chief priests were terrified, not because of empty claims, no, because of the mass of people that followed this man. His loyal supporters followed him everywhere. Everywhere but here. And then I heard Pilate tell the crowd, "Do you want me to release to you the King of the Jews?" Pilate's words angered the chief priests and the rest of the crowd. How dare he call this man a king? He certainly wasn't the king of the Jews. Suddenly, I heard whispers of a name I didn't want to hear. Barabbas. Like a snake, the word weaved its way around the crowd until everyone was saying it and then yelling it. Barabbas! Not Barabbas, not him. He was violent beyond imagining, a zealot who went on killing campaigns of Romans. It just gave the soldiers more excuses to mistreat us. They would kill innocent Israelite men as revenge. Barabbas was the worst zealot of them all. Before I could gather my thoughts, I heard Pilate speak again. "What shall I do with the one you call the King of the Jews?" That only made the crowd angrier. We were standing there tense but not disturbed when the words were yelled. "Crucify him." Then another person shouted, "Crucify him." And then another,
"Crucify him."
Thank you. People were yelling with such anger I had never seen. It almost didn't seem human. It was as if the crowd was compelled by something beyond him. I was shoved into following the crowd as the soldiers led the prisoner to be flogged. I didn't want to watch. It was disgusting. Yet I couldn't look away. It was as if I had to watch. Every lash seemed like an eternity. Once it was all over, you couldn't see the man. He was covered with blood, skin barely hanging in shreds. But as he stood up and looked at the crowd, I could have sworn his eyes met mine. There was something about how he looked into my eyes, how he looked into my heart. I will never get that image out of my head. The soldiers took the condemned man away into the palace, and they didn't come out till much later. It was obvious they had tortured him more. Then came the slow walk to Golgotha. I sometimes lost sight of the man, but I tried to stay as close as possible. There was something about that day. After a while, he couldn't carry his cross anymore. They forced another person to carry it. The person from the crowd was soon covered in blood. I wondered how she would ever get it clean. Finally, they reached Golgotha. I couldn't tear my eyes away as they drove spikes into his hands and feet, and then put him up in front of everyone. He was shamed with nakedness. A condemned man. Yet it was I who felt such deep shame. This man wasn't like other criminals that hung on either side of him, yet it was him that everyone mocked. The people cursed and yelled and screamed that he was a liar. They derided him with such anger, such venom. The thing I noticed most was the sign Pilate ordered hung above the man. It was the charge against him, King of the Jews. There it was again. Why did people insist on calling him that? What king would be crucified? The hours stretched by, but all I could see was the struggle this man was going through. I don't remember all he said up there. All I remember was that he suffered. As I looked, it became dark for a few hours when the prisoner at that time let out a cry. It wasn't a sound I've ever heard before. I felt it. He cried from deep inside, and then he died. As I looked at the dead body of the man, my eye caught sight of the sign above his head, and it hit me. This man wasn't just King of the Jews, he was the King of Kings, and he died for me. Thank you very much, crowd, for participating with us today, and thank you guys for doing a good job. We invite you to our Sunday service, which will be happening at 10:30 if I ever get enough pancakes in me. And then, so you guys are welcome to stay for that. If you have any trash, please toss it out in the black container over there. That concludes our program. Enjoy your food. Oh, okay. All right. Does anyone need some more pancakes? Please place your orders now. Carol would like 4.
You're going to have to put yours in the microwave for them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Anybody else? Dee, do you want a couple more pancakes? 7 more sausages?
Will you get me more?
Yes, of course I would.